Hi, Aarzoo. It's so nice to meet you again. It's been a long time. Gosh, we talked about this podcast back in, I think it was September.
Yes, it has been a long time. I'm very happy that finally we have aligned our schedules and we are here today.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes life happens and events happen, as you know. And yeah, I'm so glad that we can finally do this. I would have preferred it in person, of course, but due to our crazy schedules, this is the best we can do. And, down the road, hopefully we can meet in person.
For sure. I'll be looking forward to it.
So, you know what? Since I have you here for this podcast, I really want you to talk about, first of all, to talk about you, and then we can go on to all the work that's happening with you.
For sure. So just say hi to everyone. And my name is Arzu. I am the intern for Come to Work program at CNIB. I have had a very good story. Why? And it's very interesting why I'm here at this point because if you see my background, I basically am from India. I have finished my education or completed my education in psychology. So I have a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in psychology, and I'm currently pursuing my PhD in psychology.
Wow.
And yes, and I have just very recently moved to Canada. It's not even been a year. It's like less
Oh,
than a year.
well, welcome.
Thank you. It is a welcoming country. I should say that. I've loved every bit of it. So now it's a little bit crazy as to how someone who is from a psychology background would end up into a position that basically talks about career and employment support in terms of individuals who are visually impaired, individuals who are partially sighted or blind.
Hmm.
I myself belong to this community. I have rod con dystrophy. Now, this is
Okay.
something that I have recently developed. So I'm still not used to the name yet.
Okay.
Have been through a series of diagnoses by this time. When I was back in India, I had it since birth. So my parents, they were trying to figure out as to what do I actually have, what kind of because we knew it was degenerative, but what kind of degenerative condition it was, that was something that we're still struggling to find. So we
Hmm.
have been doctor shopping in a
Oh,
way to
yes.
a
Yep.
lot of places, a lot of places. And initially, we came to know that it is um, something with regards to retina, something with regards to macular degeneration, and then as in when we moved ahead, I think it was in 2018 when I was in my
Okay.
master's. I went for routine checkup with one of these doctors who was like very young, who has recently completed his education, and he was specializing in one of the conditions that a lot of doctors suggested that maybe there's a chance that I could have. So his name was Dr. Alay Banker, and he was the first person who said, "You don't have any of the things that so far the doctors have said. It's Stargardt's dystrophy." And I like the name, it has star in it, but other than that, I knew nothing about it. He was very patient with me in explaining to me and my parents what this condition is, that it is degenerative in nature, but however, it does not affect the peripheral part of it, it does affect the central part of my vision.
Oh, okay.
I Yes, so that was a relief in a way that certain parts of my eyes are still working. I'm able to do the maximum functioning, and I've been independent since the beginning. So I haven't relied much on people because I just figure my way around with things. And if
Good
it's
for
needed, I
you.
just ask for help.
Yeah, good for you.
Yes. And then when I came to Canada, surprisingly enough, the first doctor that I met said, "No, you don't have Stargardt's. It looks like best dystrophy." And I'm like, again, a big fan of the name, but still, I don't know what it is and how does it
Yeah.
affect me.
Hmm.
It was a little sad for me then because best dystrophy would be something that would be degenerative in nature. It would mean that I'm going to lose my sight after a point in time.
Yeah.
Went through certain genetic tests, certain like in-depth tests, intensive tests, and then we were very happy, me and my family, that it turns out to be Cone rod dystrophy, which basically means that I wouldn't be losing my sight, but it there is a chance that it might get worse.
Okay.
So that has been about my visual impairment. Now, that is why explaining all of this is because that is what brings me to CNIB. Like, I
Okay.
am a part of CNIB. Now when I was in India, I finished my bachelor's, finished my master's, and then I cleared the national and state exam that they had for teaching. And I used to be teaching as an assistant professor in the same university that I gained all my education from. So I was
Okay.
working as an assistant professor there for 3.5 years. And after that, I things happened and I ended up in Canada.
Okay.
And when I was about to be here, I did all my research. My friends did the research for me, and we were looking for some organization that could probably be of some help because I was coming to an unknown country with not many ties here. So it was like I had to start something from the scratch. And when
Yeah.
it comes to psychology, I knew that there is a lot of regulatory bodies. I need to go through the licensure procedure. I need
Yeah.
to get some credits. That's a very lengthy
Mm-hmm.
procedure. But I had to survive until then, and I was wondering who would be willing to help me. Like I need to find people, I need to find places, and that it was an evening I remember, and I just googled through all the organizations that would help partially sighted people or people with low vision. And I dropped a very random email, though it was a little detailed, but a very random email to each and every organization that is in Canada. And apparently, CNIB was one of them.
Good
And
job.
within next 15 days, I heard back from them. It was it's basically someone who was in the same position that I am today. Her
Okay.
name is Gunjan. She reached out to me via email. She told me we'd be willing to help you. We'd be willing to
Wow.
guide you because, and that was really like that was a way that I was hoping for,
Yeah.
right? So, and then especially when you're in a like when you're going to an unknown country, it would be really helpful if there's somebody to show you the way,
Absolutely.
right? So I had someone guide me through the process. I had my orientation, something that I do now. It's very it's very nostalgic. Something that I actually do now. I had my orientation. I met with the coordinator. I had my intake assessment done, and then I told her that my intake assessment was very like it went well, but I wouldn't be registered because I did not have SIN number. I couldn't be in the program, and most organization would just say that okay, you don't have what it meets like what is needed for the eligibility, and they would just let me go. But CNIB did not let me go. They
Aw.
said, you know what, we'll continue with your services. And in the meanwhile, we'll wait for you to come here and get your SIN number. That's completely fine. And I think they
Wow.
waited for a month and a half, after which I was here. I did my intake. I completed the rest of the intake. I started benefiting from the services. And after that, I came to know about the volunteering opportunities that they offer.
Mm-hmm.
I joined as a volunteer receptionist in the Edmonton office of
Okay.
CNIB.
Mm-hmm.
I worked as a volunteer for around 2 months, and then there was a vacancy of this particular post, and I was lucky enough to get it.
So you did this, all this research, you did it before you even arrived in Canada?
Yes.
Wow. I don't hear that. I mean, the opportunity that presented to you, really, you are so very lucky. Wow.
That is true.
But at the
And I,
same time, I think there's something about you in your personality where you're like you take your own initiative to do get things done, right? You're not
yes.
waiting around for other people. You're in like that. My thought was too, I would have done the same thing too. Not many people do that. Sometimes they wait till they get to Canada and then it's like I can't find a job. You know what I mean? So wow, what a story. That's really amazing. So since you have arrived here now, this is what you've been doing. You've been with CNIB since then.
Yes, I have been. So I landed in May last year. 3 months I was unemployed. Then I started with the volunteering,
Mm-hmm.
and since last 5 months I am in the intern for come to work program.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Holy cow. Wow. I can't even, like, seriously, what an opportunity for you. just to get it
It
like
is.
off the get-go. And you're kind of teaching our audience something too, because I do have students that I mentor, especially a lot of post-secondary students. Some of them are immigrants, right? And you're a great example, really, of how to get things done. Do you know what I
Thank
mean?
you so much. Yeah.
Wow. Like, I mean, for our audience right there, what an example. Seriously, this is how it's done, you know? Wow, just really amazing. So, tell me more about, so now you're part of the Come to Work program, and that's really why we're here is to talk about the Come to Work program. So please, in detail, expand about that. Expand a little bit about that program.
For sure. So, before going to the come to work program, I would just want to explain a little about
Yeah.
why it has a lot of emphasis for me, or why it holds, like why it is close to my heart,
Yes.
in short,
Yes, absolutely.
right? As I said, I'm from India. Now, India is a developing country and it is trying to do its best in terms of accessibility, in terms of accommodation. But when I was doing my schooling, if I had to take notes, I had to literally be around. Like if the teacher is writing something on the board, I had to be behind them to see what they're writing. Like that is how close I
Hey.
had to be in order to see it, right?
Wow.
When it comes to college, the materials that were there, they were in such small handwriting that it would be very difficult for anyone who had visual impairment to even like
Hmm.
go through the notes. And as
Yeah.
I said, I did my bachelor's and master's. We had so many subjects and we had books and books and resources
Hmm.
that had like it was endless.
Yeah.
And currently I'm doing my PhD again, the reading it never stops. And
Yeah.
it doesn't help when the things that are there are not accessible. So
Yeah.
when I came to Canada, that is actually the first time that knew what accessibility meant. And that is because of CNIB. Yeah, trust me when I say this, it may come to a surprise, but I used to teach in a university and I still have seen very less accessibility part of it there.
Oh my gosh.
Here,
Wow.
I never knew what a screen reader was. I never knew what a screen magnifier was. I never knew that there could
Wow.
be things that could help you cross the road by seeing what the signal is on the opposite, because that is something
Yeah.
that I was not able to do in India.
Yeah.
Now, in
Wow.
India, luckily or fortunately, I was blessed with all the kind people around me, and they always help me out. And this is something that I take it from them, that people have a lot to offer. It's just it's just when you need to ask for it.
Yes. Yes.
People cannot assume that you would need this, you would need that,
Yeah. Mm.
but you just have to ask for it.
That's
Now,
right.
considering all of this, considering my experience back in India, again, I was lucky. Not everybody is lucky. I was fortunate to have those people,
Yes.
but not everybody is fortunate to have those people, right?
Yeah.
When I came to Canada, again, I did not have many people that I could rely on because
Yeah.
there are very few people that I knew of. But um, considering, like, I was scared even at the thought of no, like, learning how to cross a road, because that is something that
Yeah.
I never did on my own in India,
Yeah.
right? Uh, when I joined CNIB, the volunteering program, that is when I started learning things, started knowing where people who were partially sighted as I am, or who were even
Hmm.
blind for that instance, they would just be very independent. And that was a motivation for me. And all the struggle with the work, everything that comes with it is just an add-on, right?
Mm.
Like fighting for the basic skills, and then
Hmm.
again for finding employment. Come
Hmm.
to Work program does just that. It did provide me with an opportunity when everybody around them was saying that you need to have some Canadian experience in order for you to have your first job. Yeah, because a lot of companies that I applied to, a lot of organizations that I applied to, they demanded some experience.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I was going for my first job. I cannot
Mm.
have experience. So that
Wow.
was there. And for a good number of positions that I was applying, I was always overqualified because I had a
Right.
master's degree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Mm.
worse. That's worse. Like being rejected for being overqualified
Yeah.
is a different level of
Yes.
hurt.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
But
Wow.
luckily, I was part of the Come to Work program before I became an intern for the Come to Work program. So when I said that I got into the Come to Work program back when I was in India, I did my intake assessment. There was my program coordinator, Azma Khan. She did help me with all the things that I needed with regards to my licensure procedure, with regards to getting me a mentor in psychology who has done each and every process that I'm supposed to do. So
Wow.
I did the mentoring, I did the volunteering. I need to gain Canadian workforce experience. So that is what I'm doing as a part of being an intern for
Hmm.
the Come to Work program. So all of it gets covered. It gives you the opportunity, it gives you the learning, it equips you with all the skills that you need. So
Wow.
even the assistive technology that I know so far, I'm not an expert at it, but whatever I know, I've learned from the Come to Work program and the tech trainers that we have.
Wow. That's really amazing.
I
Wow.
was surprised. I was surprised. I have a phone and I've never used the accessibility features of the phone. But
Oh.
when I saw like one of my colleagues, Mercy, she did show me all the accessibility features on the phone, and I was
Hmm.
just surprised as to how many features already had it that could have made my life so much easier
And you didn't
even
know
back
about
then.
it.
But I did not know.
Wow.
And I had it all along.
Hmm.
Like throughout my
Wow.
college life, I made my friends read everything out to me. I could have
Yeah.
just had a magnifier read out that to me.
Wow, that's truly amazing. Wow. So, this is one example is your story. Can you tell me the kind of the steps, like who would be eligible for the Come to Work program, and just kind of guide me through the process of entering into the program.
For sure. So, in order to get into the Come to Work program, there are two ways. One is making a self referral. So, if you go to the CNIB Come to Work website, there is an option of become a talent pool member. So that is the terminology that we use for all the participants of Come to Work program.
Okay.
They can make a self referral by adding all their information on the web form that we have. And the
Mm-hmm.
second way is they could just drop an email to come to work at cnib.ca.
Mm-hmm.
Once they drop an email or make a self referral, I would be reaching out to them. I would
Okay.
be scheduling their orientation, explaining them each and everything that Come to a program does. And once they agree to it, we'd move ahead with the registration form. The registration form is filled, and then we go for the intake process. And once they're done with that, they can benefit from the services.
Yeah, and then go into
The
that. Yeah.
eligible Yeah. And the eligibility criteria would be that one has to be either partially sighted or blind.
Mhm.
Um, it doesn't have to have a documentation. We believe the word of mouth. So if they say that they are visually impaired, we would take it for them, and we believe that people would be honest in terms of this.
Right.
And other than that, they should be of a working age. So anybody who is 15 and above, we would be
Mm.
happy to help them, and they should be residing, or they should be resident of Canada.
Okay.
For come to because I work in the Alberta region, so our is a little specific that they should reside in Alberta. However, CNIB is widespread, so
Yes.
they could be anywhere in Canada, and we could refer them there.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So, take me to the, once all that application process and finally getting the intake, are most of like when we talk about come to work program, when we come to work, is it working within CNIB or do you have other organizations that you would refer them to? Please explain that.
Yes. So, Come to Work basically is a career and employment support program. So, it basically does not provide you with employment, it helps you in gaining employment. So, it
Okay.
would help you with all the skills that you required in order to be in order to be employable. The assistive technology, the resume, the cover letter, the references, the job applications part of it, like any and everything that you need, that would be covered. There would be a staff would be providing you one-to-one support to get through all of that.
Okay. And then in
With
terms of,
regards
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
and the part, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
uh the part that you were talking about placements and stuff, we do not have placements, but we do
Yeah.
have employer partners. Now they are those
Okay.
individuals who are very much into the inclusion part of it. They know about
Yeah.
accommodations, they know about accessibility, they are affiliated with us. And now and then we have vacancies from them, and we
Hmm.
help our talentful members apply for those positions, get the accommodations, get the accessibility.
Yeah.
And but it is something that the talent pool members are themselves responsible for. So this is
Right.
something that I actually love about Come to Work program, that it doesn't do things for you. It makes you independent enough. It makes you skilled enough to do everything on your own.
Oh, that's wonderful. Although it's nice to have that kind of referral too. For example,
Yes.
if I was an employer partner with CNIB and my company grew, I would want to hire people, but I also want to be inclusive too. So with
Yeah.
that said about employers being inclusive, are you finding the marketplace for inclusive employers? Do you think that's increasing? Because I know I've heard a lot of people with disabilities struggling to find work. What's your take on that? What's your opinion on that?
I believe that a lot of organizations, a lot of companies, they want to do the hiring, but they probably would want to uh, skip in on the part of training them
Oh,
and having to have that talk back and forth what the
yeah,
accommodations are. But if somebody probably does that for them, it's very much easy to hire someone.
yeah, for
So
sure.
a lot of and that is also something that we do. We do have our outreach coordinator who would meet employers. He would give him the awareness presentation that our skill, like the people that we have, our talent pool members, they are skilled enough. They have all the training that you need. And just because there is one sense that is being a little compromised, that does not mean that they're not functionable. Like
Right.
he's trying to break a lot of stereotypes, a lot of barriers
Hmm?
that come into place.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, like I said, I know so many people within the disability community and individuals struggling, and part of that, the great thing about the Come to Work program is giving them that independence. Definitely,
Yes.
I do know there's a lady that I met through one of my workshops, and she came from she was a referral from CNIB. She just had been diagnosed, and so she's struggling a little bit with that, and trying to figure out how she's going to, change her career, her whole life, around her vision. And so this is a great program, really, honestly. It's really great. We need to make people more aware of it too. That's great.
Yes, yes, that is true. And I believe that people who are visually impaired, they just have their, like, they know how things are done. It's just that they
Yep.
have a different way. They rely on their different senses for the
Yeah.
information rather than just their eyes.
Yep.
And I am sure with certain training, they are able to do so. So probably
Absolutely.
everyone who is wondering if they could do things or not, just try it out. Give them work, they'll know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how long has the Come to Work program been in effect? When did it start? Is it fairly new?
Oh, no, no, it has been there since years and years that I know
Oh,
of.
so look at
Yeah,
that.
it has
Here's
been. Yeah,
something
it's
I'm
just
learning.
that we are. Yes, yes, it has been there since a very long time, and I know a lot of people who have been helped by it, because I generally certain times, so there are meetings that we have that talks about our success stories, our impact stories, and I do see a lot of them. So it
That's
has helped a good
good.
number of people too. I do
Oh,
not know the
wonderful.
exact statistics as of now, but I can
Yeah.
for sure tell you that there are a good number of people.
Oh, that's good to hear. Oh my goodness. So, let's talk about the future now. What's in store for the Come to Work program, the future for CNIB, and even the future for Aarzoo? What's going on?
I would want to answer this question in reverse, a little in
Sure.
reverse. As in, I'd start with myself, then I'd go to
Yeah.
Come to Work program, and then I'd go to
Yeah,
CNI,
absolutely.
if that's all right.
Yes.
With regards to me, I believe that it's something that is a little personal to me, something that I've experienced, that with visual impairment comes a lot of grieving, a lot of, for
Mm,
example, something as simple as I'll never be able to drive even if I want to.
Right.
I will always have to rely on someone to take me from one place to another.
Right.
And it could be an Uber driver, it could be dads, it could
Mm,
be anyone, but that is how it is going to be for the rest of my life.
right.
For something as simple as not being able to see the label when you're buying groceries, it's going to
Right.
bug me. It's going to bother me at some point
Yeah.
in time, right? So now I
Hmm.
believe that it does have a very huge impact on your mental health
Yes.
because you're grieving with it. Every once in a while, you will have that reminder that, okay, this is something that you cannot do. And it's
Mm,
not your will that is lacking, it's just the sense that is not working. It's basically a limitation that is posed because of your visual impairment,
mm-hmm.
right? So for me, my whole idea and the very reason that I am with CNIB is that I want to integrate the two parts, the part where an individual is visually impaired and the other part where their mental health is also something that suffers. I want to
Huh?
club the two and
Yes.
probably work in a field that consists both. I want to work with
Mm-hmm.
individuals who are partially sighted or blind, and I want to work on their mental health.
Yeah.
So I am basically at the point where where both of them integrate. Considering that I'm
Mm-hmm.
the first person that they talk to whenever they enter the program, it really
Yeah.
helps because they talk about their stories.
Yeah.
And so that is it for me. For Come to a program, I have seen, like so far for the 5 months that I've been working, I've seen people trying to break as many barriers as they could, trying to talk about accessibility, trying to talk
Yeah.
about accommodations, trying to talk about uh, making people ask that this is what I need and this is what
Mm.
would help me function better. I've also seen a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my subordinates, like I've seen them working very hard in order to talk to employers, bring awareness, talk to even the talent pool members and give them all the confidence that they need.
Right.
I believe that we have an ideal of Canada that is going to be barrier free with
Yeah.
regards to individuals with any disabilities, for that instance. And I think come to work programs, specifically in the area of career and development or career and employment, it's going to break that barrier down like one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Oh,
getting
good.
closer to that. I know it's an ideal and it's a huge, like a huge population to deal with, but
Yeah.
we'll get there one step at a time.
Yes. Oh, good. Wow. That's
And with
great.
regards to CNIB, CNIB, especially with the way forward, that is our latest work. It's basically that we're trying to work in any and every area that we are moving forward with. I think we are making a difference, and the whole point
Yes.
and the whole motto of CNIB is going to make more and more difference by each passing day.
Oh, wonderful. Wow, that's fantastic. What a great answer for all three.
Thank you.
Well, why don't we conclude with my final question to you, and that
Mhm.
is, what matters to you?
Okay. It might be a little cringe, but what matters to me is that um, I am trying my best to be the person who asks for the things that I need.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I want the world to be filled with people who are ready to give what I need. So, uh, it's basically wherein what I'm saying is that I'm ready to ask for all the accommodations I need. I want people to be genuine enough. And fortunately, I have experienced that. And it feels really, really good. And I feel so blessed to be surrounded by people who understand what I go through, who are there to help me through every trick, like every situation that brings me through thick and thin. Anything it is, they have been
Yeah.
there and it feels really good. So, but there are a lot of people who do not feel so, and I would want those people to feel that. And that is what
Oh,
matters a lot to me. So
oh
I
yeah.
want each and every individual to take maybe just one little extra step to help any individuals who's struggling with anything.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a beautiful answer. And that is so true. And you know what? you are in that community and you were even in
Yeah.
that community before you arrived in Canada. So this is really it's really amazing, your story. So, you know what? Thank you so much, Arzu, for this time. Thank you for educating me on the work that CNIB does and the Come to Work program, and obviously you for telling your story. So thank you very much. I appreciate you, and I hope we can meet again in person, hopefully soon.
For sure. It has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.